time to make the second one of this fun green skirt. The bottom of it is going to be a little bit more full, and I'm really excited to see how it compares to the first one. Hi, I'm Christina, and I love to digitally apparel pattern, creating unique pieces of wearable art. And today we're doing a second skirt like this that has just a few different differences so that we can do a compare and contrast. So let's print out our pattern and get sewing. Now that I have my pattern printed out, I'm going to tape it together. And again, on this one, I did not actually cut my patterns apart. I just put it straight onto my art boards and print. When I'm working this way, I don't find that it's going to lose too much. And these big skirts definitely got a little bit big on me, and I'm super excited to see how this turns out. Next, I'm going to go ahead and pin the front and backs onto the fabric and cut them out. I did end up cutting both front and back out for both skirts at the same time. Next, we're going to lay out our fabric on a single side, and we're going to pin our pattern onto the fabric and cut it out. I am super excited to see what these gathered skirts will do. Now, before I move on, I definitely want to make sure that I mark my darts so I know how much I need to take in on my skirt so that it's nicely fitted to her waistline. I'm going to do the same thing on the front. Make sure those darts are marked. Now it's on to sewing. I'm going to start again by sewing my darts. I like to have a hash mark at the bottom of my dart so I know exactly where I want my dart to finish, and they're all even throughout the skirt. And then I'm just going to back stitch at the top and sew down to the bottom. I'm going to do this on both the front and back skirts. Iron those darts towards the side seam. Now it's time to add the fun little ruffle. When I was cutting it out, I marked my stitch line so I would know exactly where to cut to. So when I was putting it on, I would have that guideline. Then I'm just going to line up the edges and make sure that the fabric is eased in as I straighten out this circle. And it turned out very nicely. I'm very excited. Now we're going to put in my gathering stitches for the underskirt. I'm going to do 2 gathering stitches, and the first one actually broke. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip out all that thread the first time, and we're going to try the gathering stitches again. And so now we're trying the gathering stitches again. We're going to do 2 rows of gathering stitches so that it gathers nice and even. Then I'm going to go ahead and line up the 2 sides. And since I didn't actually give myself notches, I'm going to do this just the quick and dirty way where I fold it in half and line up the 2 sides in the middle and then bring my fingers together. Then once I have it marked onto the 2 edges and the middle, since this is just half scale, that's enough pins for me to then easily gather everything in between. I love using a pin to kind of stroke the gathers throughout the skirt, and then I will pin it down so that it's nice and even. You want nice and even gathers so that it evenly flows to the bottom of the skirt. And now it's time to sew it on. There we go. Then we're just going to go ahead and repeat for the back side. We're going to clip, sew, then we're going to put our gathering stitches in. We're going to pin it together, and we're going to gather it onto the base and sew it together. Then we're going to press open that seam. Next is sewing the side seam. So I'm just going to sew from top to bottom, making sure that my ruffles line up right at my side seam, right where the point hits. Now again, if I was doing this for real, I would definitely not have that ruffle encased in my side seam like that, because it definitely makes it not as nice. But for the purposes of just seeing the outline and the general shape, I'm definitely happy to just put my ruffle into that side seam for time's sake. And look at that! I just won bobbin roulette. I love winning bobbin roulette. Now it's time to press the side seams. So I'm just going to press open those side seams so that I have a nice crisp look. And I'm going to take off the old skirt and put on the new skirt to see how they compare. Ooh, I don't know. I'll be curious to see what you guys think. And here we have her. I really like how this second one turned out. I do actually really like the a little bit more fullness in the bottom. And I know I only did like a 1.5, and I'd be tempted to actually go to a 2. We'll see how I'm feeling when I actually make it for myself, because I'm pretty sure I'm making this skirt for myself. I am super, super pumped. So let's bring up the 2 pictures and do a quick compare and contrast. Yeah, I believe that these 2 are super cute, and you could definitely go with either one, and it just kind of depends on which way you want to go. I definitely am preferring the one with a little bit more fullness on her, but everybody will have their own opinion. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. If you missed when I actually drafted this pattern, make sure to check out that video too, so that you can see how you can also draft it on your computer. I look forward to seeing you in some of my other videos. Happy patterning!